Hi Emily, how are you?
Morning. Hi.
Yeah, with this J7 PHEV today.
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about Chery and JAECOO first. We hear a lot about the names Chery and we hear about JAECOO.
Yes.
What's the relationship? Maybe for people who are not familiar, they're a bit confused.
Yeah. Okay, so to clarify, JAECOO is a subsidiary of Chery International. So Chery International is part of the Chery Group in China, where the international arm is focused on Chinese exports. So for Chery and JAECOO in Malaysia, we basically have JAECOO Malaysia, which is a standalone company, which I am the Vice President of JAECOO Malaysia, whereby we all report to JAECOO Malaysia, that is handled by Leo Chen, which is the Executive Vice President.
So is JAECOO a brand or a company?
JAECOO is a brand.
It's a brand.
JAECOO is a brand.
I see. And you are positioning JAECOO as a premium SUV brand, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Do you think the Malaysian public is ready to accept a premium product from a Chinese brand? Not to look down on them, but you know, Chinese brands are relatively new. How do you think the acceptance with the word premium is going to be taken?
For us, really the focus is more on providing the best for the Malaysian customers. So for us, premium for one is to provide the absolute best product at the best customer pricing. And this we have clearly shown with the launch of the J7. So the reception has been very good. But another aspect of premium, which we are very, very focused on, is the customer experience. So right now, our customer experience has been very strong. It's provided by my JAECOO dealerships, whereby customer experience is about providing a good vehicle. After that, it's the follow-up service that we actually provide to our customers. So my dealers are very focused on providing the premium service because that is the element that really, really makes a brand premium.
A lot of companies talk about the experience. Can you elaborate more on what the experience means?
So for us, the experience is that the customer is at the center of everything we do. So for example, like this PHEV in which we are bringing in, the first thing is the suitability to the customer. So for one, with the booth that we're showing here, is to show them the technology that we're actually bringing. It's not just about the product, but what you can actually get from this vehicle, right, in terms of technology. And of course, with the experience, it also comes with education. Because for the public to actually accept the vehicle, right, it's not just about the looks, but it's also what comes together with the vehicle. So from the size of the screen to basically how the battery optimization, how it actually fits into their daily lifestyle. The premium element comes in when the customer is in the car, just to understand about the car. The sales consultant will actually sit in together with them to really explain all the features. So for us, that is actually premium. It's the experience that comes with it, that we are not just pushing product to you. We are pushing a product that is suitable to your lifestyle and to actually really what you need.
But that's the product. What about the element of owning the car? What will they experience?
Yeah. So in terms of element of owning the car, unfortunately we are not in the JAECOO dealership right now. Maybe next time we can find the time. So from the time they walk into a JAECOO dealership, they are actually greeted by the entrance walkway. So there are actually LED lights to actually greet the customers. And even when they come in, for them to understand the car, we understand the customer's needs first. So we are always on needs base to understand whether the car is suitable for their lifestyle or not. And then of course with the other premium elements of giving them water, giving them coffee, we give them a very comfortable environment in order to really think about their purchase and what they're buying. And of course, after the customer purchases from us, what we do is after sales service. After sales is actually the core of what makes a brand strong. So for us, every customer that purchases a vehicle, for one, they become part of the J Club. And within this J Club is where we provide them with a lot of different activities because we are going off as a premium off-road. So we actually arrange things like off-road activities for them. We'll bring them to gatherings, we'll bring them to dinners. On top of that, which is what is most important, they're actually added into groups whereby any small problem, I actually have a team that actually replies to them. Anything that they're concerned about, for example, the screen is suddenly not turning on, I have a team that actually replies within 5 to 10 minutes, that's the KPI, on exactly what's the problem and how do you actually fix it.
So you're giving them a very personalized experience.
Yes, one-to-one.
What about, I'm sure your product is of good quality. What about if the car has to be retained at the service center for an extended period? How will you look after their convenience?
So in terms of extended period, because we understand that for this car, a lot of people need to use it either to go to work or for their daily usage. So what we actually have is that every dealership has a courtesy car, whereby if the customer is so happen the car needs to be in for servicing, we will actually provide a courtesy vehicle, or we also provide alternatives, for example, Grab, where we actually give loss of daily use.
That's good. Okay, so you've introduced the J7, a locally assembled product, as your first product, and now you're going to introduce this variant, the PHEV, which seems to have a very impressive 1,300 kilometer range, and I understand it was already proven in China.
Yes.
But that would be the maximum range possible. Are you not concerned that not everyone might be able to achieve it, and then people will say it's just misleading?
Yes, that's partially why when we did this booth, within the video, right, we're actually showing when you're actually using the battery. So for this vehicle, from 0 to 40 kilometers, it's 100% on EV mode, while from 40 to 70, it goes into tandem mode, whereby the battery is actually recharging and we're using the combustion engine as well. But above 80 kilometers per hour, it's full combustion engine. So yes, some customers will not be able to achieve the 1,300, especially if they are going on highway full 120, 130 kilometers. Sorry, legally it's supposed to be 110. So when the customer goes at 110 kilometers, right, it's fully on combustion engine. They will not be able to achieve this range. That's partially why we actually created a booth together with different TVs and different aspects in order to educate them, in order to achieve this 1,300 kilometers. These are the criteria that needs to be fulfilled. But in general, we are fairly confident that this car will be able to fulfill the daily needs, because what we understand with the Malaysian market, during weekdays, most of the time is going to and from work. And this is where we have actually a lot of heavy traffic. And most of the time, the car does not actually go above 40 kilometers an hour. And this is where they're on full EV mode. Of course, when they go onto the highways and the long stretches, that's where the battery will start recharging. And during weekends is where potentially they will need to, if they go to the popular culture in Malaysia is that you drive to Malacca to go makan-makan. Some people actually go to Penang. So the cafe hopping culture is something that's very common here. So this is the time where potentially they will need to refuel the vehicle in order to achieve and to
The
travel.
concerns about finding a recharging point, a recharging station, I mean, that's what puts people off getting a fully electric EV, right? So what is the advantage with a PHEV?
Yeah. The key advantage with a PHEV is that because it can run both on combustion engine and also on battery. So this concept is actually elevated because at the point where your battery totally runs out, you can run on the combustion engine. And the other thing is when your combustion engine is running, you are also recharging your battery. So it is possible to run on both modes. So in a sense, this is a stronger proposition if you're concerned about charging in comparison to a full electric vehicle.
So it's possible to run on just the engine if your battery is flat.
Yes, it is possible.
That's very good. I mean, that's better than just an ordinary hybrid.
Yeah, so it takes away a lot of concerns because the good thing about Malaysia is that we are all producing country, so we do have petrol stations everywhere.
Do you expect more people would buy a PHEV than the normal ICE model?
I think for this, education is necessary for the market. That's what we're trying very hard to do. Customers need to understand the technology before they buy it. So because for the PHEV, a lot of other brands have brought it in before this. And there are some negativity related to the ownership of a PHEV. So what we're trying to do right now is to really educate. We have moved on to the next generation. Our batteries are actually blade technology. So in terms of the maintenance and everything, it's actually better than owning an ICE. So what we see is really down to market acceptance. And of course, if PHEV can sell more than the normal combustion engines, for one, it's good for the customer. The next thing is also very good for the environment.
Will this variant also be assembled locally like the other J7?
Yes, it will be assembled locally.
And I see that recently you also previewed a model called the Omoda C9. And Cherry also has a Omoda model. A bit of confusion there. What's this all about?
So for us, the main thing is that the customer centricity. So I began by saying a lot, the customer in the end of the day is most important, that the customer accepts the vehicle and the vehicle is suitable for the market. So the Omoda C9 is a vehicle that is our first off-road SUV coupe. which is very rare. And under the JAECOO DNA is that we bring premium off-road SUVs. So in terms of brand DNA, the Omoda C9 is suitable to fall under JAECOO because the ability to sell and to teach customers on how to use the off-road mode, when you use the mud mode, when you use the different modes, is suitable because our SAs are fully trained in order to sell off-road vehicles.
So, the JAECOO brand is strictly an SUV brand.
Yes, at the current moment.
It won't be going into passenger cars.
For us, under the Cherry International umbrella, we do have a lot of different vehicles. So I had a lot of customers asking me, I see this in China, I see this in China. So we do have a lot of vehicles under the umbrella of Cherry International. For us, the first thing is right now is SUV because that is what the market is demanding for. One of the key highlights of the J7 was the water wading ability. Because as you know, in Malaysia, we have roads with a fair amount of potholes, a fair amount of flooding happens. And this is where the JAECOO stand out, for the J7 especially. And that is what the customer is opting for. Of course, when the time, as time continues to develop and as customer acceptance continues, we will look at expanding our product portfolio, focusing on what the customer needs.
So you're going to educate the public this weekend at this display at Sunway Pyramid.
Yes, yeah. So we're really looking forward to it. We will have lucky draw sessions as well for the customers when they come over.
Last question. Malaysia was the first country in Southeast Asia to launch JAECOO, right?
Yes.
Does that indicate that Cherry or JAECOO plans to make Malaysia a hub for the JAECOO brand for the region?
Yeah, right now Malaysia was the first pioneer to launch the J7 and also the C9, right, in the Southeast Asia region. For us, actually, the focus is still on the Malaysian customers because for us to provide the absolute best customer experience for our customers is to focus on the market first. So in terms of this sort of expansions, that is not our current focus. My focus is really best car, best service to our customers in Malaysia.
Thanks very much, and we look forward to JAECOO being a truly premium brand in the Malaysian market. All the best.
Thank you.